Okay, thank you, Andre.
Hello, hi, nice to see you at the presentation. I said my name is Andrej Sobotkiewicz. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Pastir, and basically we are facilitating the usage of light electric vehicles and containers in the last mile transport. So the idea of this presentation was to take maybe a step back, to take a bit a look at the history and what we can learn from international shipping and bring it maybe into the last mile delivery. So I will start with, before 1970s, which is quite a situation we see in the last mile currently in the cities. So we have goods are shipped in loose form, have a lot of handling needed, a lot of headover, because we need all people to organize all these parcels. Warehouses are needed because these products are not protected really, and a lot of lost goods because of bad organization of the shipments. So after that, the International Standardization Organization, together with partners, presented basically the container. There are a few standardized container sizes, but the important thing is that this changed global shipping and basically also the global economy totally, and basically facilitated the way that we live now, where we produce in one part of the world and ship to the other. The container allowed basically that the ships are safely transported, they're protected from weather impacts, they're basically a small storage in itself, so no need for big warehouses. And the goods are transported in bulk, so you have a lot of goods in one container, which is much easier to handle. Of course, you'll need some investment in infrastructure to handle this, but it's way less than having all the people all the time there. The second step was then visibility, so knowing where the containers are in the process. By knowing where they are, we can optimize all the processes. It's better for the producer, it's better for the shipper, and it's better also for the customer. They can all align their processes based on where the products are. And last but not least is also, of course, automatization. With automatization, we can again save a lot of time, a lot of cost, a lot of room of errors, and we can distribute packages much better. So this is all true and all working already in global shipping, right? But in the last mile, it's way different. What the logistics operators are facing here is really a jungle, we could say, and also a battlefield, because the last mile is by far the most expensive part of all the process. It's the most complicated one, and a lot of risks are involved there, because we have a very hostile environment where basically the parcels can get easily lost or stolen. So it's also an environment that doesn't really welcome a lot of big trucks and diesel gases. So the logistics companies are experimenting with cargo bikes. Of course, cargo bike is only one of the possible solutions. We see downstairs a lot of last mile delivery vehicles that can be used. But it's interesting that almost all are have fixed containers on them. So we have very small containers which cannot accommodate a lot of parcels, and they're fixed part of the box, so you cannot preload it. You have to load it on the location, which again brings a lot of time losses. Parcels can get lost again, but the whole process is not optimized, and the logistics company can only make profits if they're very well optimized. Then we have manual handling again, as we saw it before 1970s. We have loose, basically parcels that have to be shipped from one location to another. And the equipment that is used on these vehicles is not really meant for business use. It's more or less solutions that are for consumers, and it's not the best for logistics operation. Time consuming and a lot of room of error again. So if we take a look at how currently, based on our experience with the customers, it looks like it's like we have the big logistics center where everything is automized. But then we have, for example, the fleet manager coming inside the logistics center. He hand-picks the parcels that will be shipped in the last mile. He needs to have very good awareness of the size of the fleet, of the weight that the fleet can transport, and also where it needs to be transported. So we have a loss of roughly 1 hour, one person that needs to sort these things. Then he brings with the van the parcels to the micro-consolidation hub, where again the drivers need to scan every single package. They need to make up their own route, because mostly the route planning that is used is made for cars, and light electric vehicles can have very different roads than cars. So they have to scan all the packages and have to think again what will be the route. So and I have to sort it that the first I put in, the last goes out. And then I can go and basically delivering to the customers. The problem here is that, first of all, these light electric vehicles are a fairly new breed of vehicles for logistics companies, and you need quite some of them to manage the same area. At the same time, we have a problem of drivers, because the more e-commerce is rising, the more it's distributed inside the urban areas, the more drivers you need, and the good drivers are hard to find. And as you can see in this process, it all depends on the capabilities and motivations of the people involved. So if you have a bad driver, maybe he needs 1 hour, 1.5 hours to sort his cargo bike. If you have a good driver, he can do it in half an hour. And also when we see with our customers, the drivers take very, very different routes and strategies how to basically service the client in the last mile. But there is, of course, and we're happy to see that there's some change going on. We see first basically signs of containerization in the last mile. Still, there's no consensus about what size the container should be, how should it be put on the vehicle, off the vehicle, stacked, and all that kind of stuff. So everyone is going basically in its own direction. But anyway, it's good to see that at least it started. Because what the containers can do, what the containers did already for the global shipping, they can do also for the last mile. So if we imagine that we track these containers, we learn how are the routes, how are they driven around the city, where are they opened, where are they closed, and put on the bike, off the bike, and so on. We can learn a lot. We can learn how this basically last mile delivery can be organized, and in a way more efficient way. And if we learn how the light electric vehicles behave in urban environment, we can also start with automation. And this is as well for the sorting, because the machine needs to know where to sort it, how to sort it, and in which order to sort it. And also automation of the locking process itself. You know, if you can imagine, we have drivers that have to handle the bike or the vehicle and the box. It's separate keys. Every delivery, 80 to 150 deliveries per day that a single vehicle does with our customers. So automation with proximity recognition, you come to the bike, you just press buttons and things open up and close for you. So the result of this process is probably that you can do the sorting way up the logistics process. You do it in the logistics center, and from then on, you know exactly what's in the box, and you can track the box from the logistics center all the way to the customer. There's no need to do the handling in between. We save roughly 1.5 hours per vehicle, and the boxes come to the micro hub, or even they can be transported by vans and directly combined with where the actual bikes and other electric vehicles in the cities are. You put the container on, you scan the container, and you know the route and how it needs to be delivered. So we can save with this process roughly 1.5 hours per delivery, per day. Sorry. And yeah, we think that this is the direction that the last mile really needs to go. And we saw also before the presentation that companies are going this direction because there's just too many losses in the process. And yeah, last but not least, maybe I have a short video of our company and what we're doing. So I think it's 1 minute. something
Basically,
like that.
facilitating the usage of cargo bikes in the last mile delivery process. On the one side, we have rising e-commerce, which means that basically more and more goods needs to be delivered to the final consumer, and that's normally in bigger urban areas. And the second thing is that because of the congestion and pollution and just way too much traffic in the cities are closing down for traffic. This means that one of the only ways to deliver customers in the city really is with cargo bikes. These are huge bicycles that can put up to 300 kilos on themselves, have electric drive, and this enables the delivery companies to service the clients. They needed tools to basically use the cargo bikes in a better way. So that's why we developed the Pastir device. Pastir gives many advantages to our customers. The first one is really bringing down the time to lock the bike. So instead of fiddling around with 2 keys, opening bike and box lock, the system identifies when they're close to the bike, then they just press buttons. At every delivery, we save them 25 seconds, and they do from 100 to 150 deliveries per day, so we save them a lot of time. And on the other side, there is the whole software infrastructure behind it, which helps you to find where the bikes are, what are the routes, have they been locked, have they been left unlocked, and all these kind of things, and information especially, to optimize the process of delivery. Cargo bikes with a fixed box being replaced with cargo bikes with a flexible box. This means that there's a process of containerisation happening right now on the market, and the idea is to standardize the containers so they can be brought on different vehicles, but filled up way up in the logistics process, so we can eliminate a lot of inefficiencies. So Pastir's place in here is on the box. Because when we are on the box, we always know what's inside the box, where is the box, and who had access to the box. These are the most important questions for all delivery companies.
Yeah. You are welcome to visit us today until 3 at hall B1, stand 4 to 6. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Andre. And I think that's a very interesting contrast to. We tend to focus more on the vehicles rather than on the containers, and the flexibility of the capacity in the containers and how you can use them, I think, is interesting.
Yeah, exactly. What we see is that the vehicles are built, and then we'll see how the container fits in.
Yes.
It's not the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. So it's where do you start?
Yeah.
Have we got a